1963 marked the first season of the Ladmo Jets, a sports team the three organized, helping to raise almost $1 million for Arizona charities.
Hey, by the way, the 30th anniversary part 2 is coming up. Some highlights from that very special show from the past. But the sports memories that brought back to me, mostly pain. I remember pain in Globe, pain in Safford. I remember bruises in Bisbee. But we raised a lot of money, didn't we? Ladmo Jets.
Yes, over $250,000 over a 3-year period.
Sports like
softball, football, basketball,
roller derby, boxing,
and Chinese checkers.
It's time to tell you what's next, because what's next is memories of the team. We have assembled some of the folks who not only played those sports, but also entertain folks who do shows and go out and sweat and jump up and down and occasionally actually score some points. Introduce the squad.
Left to right, Mike Condello, Dan Moss, Al Douglas, and Mike's drummer, Rich Post, and there's Roosevelt Nettles, and Gene Blue.
Roosevelt and the LaCords and the Commodore Condello Band in part. And they not only played an awful lot of sports, raised an awful lot of money against the town teams across the state of Arizona, but they also entertained. That was before they actually had to go out and do bodily injury to themselves, like this.
We would like to do a song dedicated to the one we love. Each night before we go to bed, my baby, say a little prayer for me, my baby, because it's hard for me, my baby, and the darkest hour is just before dawn. To be loved is the wish of the present, oh yeah. To be wanted, oh yeah, is so much worthwhile. But say a prayer for me, my baby, each time you think of me, my baby, because it's so hard for all of us, my baby. And the brightest hour is when we think of all the glad. Oh yeah,
How time flies. Where were we? 1965. Hubcap cuts records, makes a number of appearances on Steve Allen. Marshall Good and Boffo the Clown appear on The Daily Show. Ladmo has a pal in the park, Harvey Trundle. The Harv! And the program is broadcast in color. That's better.
Balloons for sale. Balloons for sale. Balloons. Balloons. Balloons for sale. No. You tripped me, Ladmo.
Fell all over my feet. Ow! 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 Oh, my toesy.
That's what you get. Balloons. Balloons
Yes?
for sale.
That's what you get.
What is this you've got here?
I'm writing a poem.
Read this poem if you can. Grudgemeyer's a mean old man. He's always sitting on my bench. I'd like to smack him with a wrench. Your bench?
My bench?
That's what I think of your poem.
You know what I remember growing up in Phoenix was Wallace and Ladmo. There was two characters that had a kid show on Channel 5. KPHO?
That's right. Wallace and Ladmo are now in their 25th year.
You're not still there.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Oldest continuing entertainment team like that.
They are still there because I grew up with Wallace and Ladmo.
Yeah, still there.
They
Still
were my
doing the
idol.
same shtick.
I will never forget the day they took Stan Freberg's satire called The United States of America. He did the whole thing on their show. They lip sank to the record. It was great. It was just great. You believe that? I wore Ladmo ties down to here, and I don't know what it was, but they showed the greatest Popeye cartoons. I'd never heard of Popeye before Wallace and Ladmo. They introduced me to a whole world of cartoons, and essentially they were contemporary humorists. They never talked down to kids. That's what I remember most about them. They never treated kids like children. They always treated them as peers.
Now, they've been entertaining Arizona for a quarter of a century, and they're still at it. From KPHO, Phoenix, Wallace and Ladmo.
Oh, hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Thanks for seeing me.
All right.
Oh, George.
Love it.
Thank you so much. I'm Wallace, the one with the derby.
And I'm Ladmo, the one with the top hat.
You know why we're here?
Yeah, to give away a Ladmo bag.
You
I
bet.
brought
I got
one.
the seating chart
All
right
right,
here.
you got it? Who's going to be the lucky
Okay.
winner tonight? All right.
Hey, this aisle right over here.
Here we go.
All right. Up that aisle there, to your left, the second row, the second seat in. Hi, Idaho. Hi, Colorado. Hi, New Mexico. Hi, Utah.
Montana.
That's the closest we'll ever get to being on the network.
I know.
We'll make the most of it.
Wallace and Ladmo.
I just want to thank the family. The family did it. They know who they are.
Thank you very much. Got a petition here from some folks. Petition? Yeah, requesting 2 or more Roger Ramjet cartoons every day.
2 more?
It's got a whole bunch of names here.
Wow.
Don Bandy, James Doty or Doty, Bob Lewis.
What school are they from?
Fuel Pump Lounge.
In television, they often measure our audiences by the demographic point, but I believe that was by the shot glass at the Fuel Pump Lounge. Listen, look what I found. Wow, look at this. Al Douglas from the Lacords has this well-worn program from one of the Ladmo Jets softball games. This was before our uniforms were torn and tattered. Can you take another close-up of that so that Wal can just take a look at some of the folks that are in there?
The Lacords, Mike Condella's band, Tony Evans, the disc jockey, Brian Donahue, and Wallace Ladmo and Gerald.
Wow, you were in such good shape. Oh, wait, inside.
Oh, my goodness, there's Aunt Maud and Harvey and Captain Super and Gerald. Good.
Right, and the other football teams and roller derby teams and these programs, these programs actually were sold in the bleachers by a guy named Johnny Franklin.
That's right.
$40 a copy.
Yeah.
He got for these things. We never saw a cent.
Speaking of sports, I would like you all to meet now the 4th-ranked welterweight in the WBO, our own stage manager from our old show, Tony Escobar.
Tony.
Good to see you.
Oh, you son of a gun. It's
How are
really
you doing?
good to see
How
you.
you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
You're over here. Take it too.
Oh, Los Manos de Oatmeal. I'm telling you, it was wonderful to see you. Look at this. These are just a few of the faxes that you folks sent in saying thanks, Ladmo. And they're absolutely wonderful. They're poems and they're sketches, and there are such special personal messages to all of us, to Ladmo's family, Governor Symington, with a special message of condolence for Patsy Kwiatkowski. Office of the Attorney General and Grant Woods wrote this beautiful story about when he grew up in Mesa watching Ladmo. Now listen, if we can we get a couple of these? This is like the Wallace and Ladmo show, how we're making it up, right? Baby Blues, and Baby Blues, Rick and Jerry are cartoonists from here, but they are nationally syndicated cartoonists, and they sent this in. This is especially, it's Zoe.
Hey, do you know, speaking of cartoonists, our old buddies Rick and Pete Kirsten are in the studio audience. They're over there.
And Rick and Pete Kirsten's cartoons, can you just go ahead and swing it around? Rick and Pete Kirsten over there. Rick and Pete, having aged watching the Wallace and Ladmo show over the years, they were among the original cartoonists.
Right.
And
our
did
sets,
what they call the
slides, little bumper slides, the set.
Remember Nancy and Sluggo?
Yes.
Well, it's being done by Jerry Scott. Nancy and Sluggo, the national Nancy and Sluggo cartoon.
Oh, yes.
And Jerry Scott faxed us this.
That's wonderful.
Back in a moment. Ladmo remembered.